Hello, everyone. Welcome to Buzz Crimson. I'm your host, Shakib. This is the part one of the student loan management video series. Part one is going to cover some smart strategies that you can do to save interest and pay off your student loans fast. Now, if you consider yourself finance savvy, I encourage you to check out part two, where I'll go over an advanced strategy which can enable you to pay off your student loans almost twice or 3 times as fast. It's a real strategy. It works, but it just takes more effort. All right. Before I start, a quick reminder: if you graduated and you have student loans, never feel bad about them. It's just a part of being a student in the U.S., I guess. Don't feel bad about it. I have student loans as well. They got me through school, so we just have to pay them off. That's all. There are no tricks or gimmicks. I'm going to show you some plain financial strategies that you can use to minimize your interest costs as you pay them off. All right, let's get started. This is a very brief agenda of what we're going to go through. We're going to assess, look at strategies, craft out game plans, and we'll execute. All right, so for assessing your student loans, see if you can answer these questions, then start working from here. How long will it take to pay off the student loans? What will be the total interest cost? Can you get better interest rate for some or all of your loans? Are you eligible for loan forgiveness? It's very unlikely, but it doesn't hurt to check it out. What would you prefer when you're trying to apply additional payments to your student loan? Will you prefer the debt snowball strategy or debt avalanche strategy? I'll go over those later in the video, but think about those. All right, these are some you can go through one at a time to go through your assessment, but essentially you want to make sure you understand your loan groups, what interest rate applies to each loan group. You want to find out your payment, how long it's going to take, how many payments, and whatnot. And then obviously explore your loan manager, learn all about them, what kind of offers and incentives and resources they have, and utilize them. I will show you a screenshot of a private loan manager, Sally Mae. I had loans with them. This is how they group up their loans based on interest rates. Because it's Sally Mae, they don't have as many loan groups. I'm pretty sure if someone had like 20 loans with them, then it would be a little more different. But as you can see, they separate the loans and they give it a number, they give it an interest rate, so you know which one has how much interest rate. Here's a different one. This one is more in depth. This one is Nilnet, which is a federal loan manager. Group A, Group B, Group C. Group A's have many different loans inside, which were distributed in many different semesters. But they're grouping them up into Group A, which all of the loans happens to have this 3.4 interest rate. So just make sure you know your groups and their interest rates, because that can help you answer a lot of these questions. Yeah, just make sure you can answer all of these questions. I'll show you some tools that you can use later on. All right, these are the strategies. I will go over these two this video, and part two will cover that toolbox. As always, you can do nothing and just keep paying your scheduled monthly payment. One day, maybe 10 years later or 5 years later, depending on how much you're paying, you will pay off your student loan. It's that simple. But that's not fun. You got to do something. You want to save money, right? So that's why you want to try out these. So let's go to, as you just look at this chart and understand which one you want to try, and we're going to discover them in the next slides. So let's look at extra payment. 4 steps. Step 1, make sure you make your scheduled monthly payment, and then figure out how much money you're generally having at the end of the month after you meet all your expenses and savings. Let's say every month you're finding out that you have about $100 or $150 left over. You want to make sure that you can apply it to some target loans. When I say target loans, target your loans based on debt Snowball or debt Avalanche. All right, let me show you what that means. So you have $100 of additional payment that you want to make toward your student loans. How do you go about it? You can either go debt Snowball or debt Avalanche. Debt Snowball is a strategy that's going to help you emotionally, as you will see results faster, but it'll take longer to pay your loans off. Debt Avalanche you will not see its impact immediately, but it will pay off your student loans faster. So pros and cons, right? If you want to be happy, you want to see some progress, then that Snowball is the one. If you are just care about savings and mathematical efficiency, right, then you need to go with debt Avalanche. So here's an example. Same group of 5 different loans in both scenario, and you have $100 to put toward one of the loan group, right? If you're in debt Snowball, you're going to start attacking the loans in order of small to large loan amount, right? So in that case, in debt Snowball, you're going to start putting this $100 after you make your monthly payment. You're going to take $100 that you have additional payment. You're going to apply it toward this loan. When you pay it off, you're going to go to order of applying. You're going to start putting in this one. When this one paid off, this one, just like that. Small to large. In Avalanche, you're going to look at the order of highest to lowest interest rate. So in that case, you're going to start with this one, right? And then this one, and then this one, because you're going from high interest rate to low interest rate. So that's how you go about it. Remember, debt Avalanche will usually, pretty much all the time, will save you more money. But since you're attacking larger loans or larger interest rate, you're going to pay it off a little slower. But once you start getting into these smaller ones, you're going to see result faster. But over time, it'll take a little longer. All right, let's go back to this. So make sure you target your loans and start applying this extra payment. You will see the result. I'll show you how that works out. So let's say you have a $20,000 loan, or let's make it $30,000, and your average interest rate is 5%, and your monthly payment is $250. What's going to happen is it's going to take you about 13 years or so to pay this whole loan off at $250 monthly payments. And this is how much you will pay in interest. But what if you start applying $100 per month extra, which will go directly toward principal? That will allow you to save 38% interest. Before you were going to pay about $11,675. Now you're going to be only paying $7,191. So that's almost $4,500 or something of interest. So think about it, and you will also pay it off almost 5 years early. So as you can see, additional payments that apply directly toward principal, either in debt Snowball or debt Avalanche, can have a huge impact in terms of how long it'll take to pay it off and how much interest costs. Okay, so that's extra payment. Let's go to refinance. Very self-explanatory. You want to refinance. It's just like refinancing your house or auto loan, whatever it is. You're going to look at all your interest rates, figure out which loans you want to refinance. Remember, when you refinance, you don't have to refinance all of your loans. Like, for example, if I were to refinance some loan from here, I probably won't touch these 2 loans that has 2% interest rate because they're very low. But this one is relatively high, 6.7. So I would probably try to only refinance that one. All right. So find out which loans you want to refinance. Explore refinancing rates with soft credit check. There are many companies that will give you estimate on rates based on your Social Security and credit score. And you want to do those with a soft credit check so that your credit score doesn't get impacted. Because what if you try it out with a couple of different places and they all run a credit check on you? It'll take a hit. It'll take a decent amount of hit, right? So you want to try out with something like, I mean, there are a lot of companies that will refinance your student loans. Earnest, SoFi, Credible, they're all pretty good. Compare, make sure you're getting the best deal. When you get your rate estimates, compare them, see how much you're saving. Personally, if I don't see at least $2,000 of interest saving, I wouldn't even switch. It's just because, especially if you have a federal loan, federal student loan, because federal student loan has a lot of features that those loans, refinance loan, don't have. For example, if you have federal student loan right now, because of coronavirus, you don't have to make payments or interest and your interest is not accumulating. If you refinance with a company like SoFi or Earnest, clock is ticking. You have to keep making payments and all that stuff. So think about it. Is it worth making the switch? Right. And then, make the switch if you're ready to, if you think it's worth. All right, last one, Debt Toolbox. Here's some homeworks that you can think about. See if you want to take this project. I will go over the strategy in detail in the next video. For this, there are some prerequisites. You want to make sure you have a very good credit score. Or you can do it in two ways. One, you want to make sure you have a good credit score. Or two, you need to open a bank account and start depositing some extra cash every month that you have left over, okay? Even if it's $50, put $50. Then find financial tools for tracking this project when you will when you're going to start it, right? Make up a Google Sheet or find some app like Mint so you can track it. Step 3, start exploring balance transfer credit cards. Offers that has more than 18 months with 0% APR and balance transfer fees. Or you can go to many different websites and find out the best offers and just keep exploring them, see what kind of credit score they require so you can keep working toward that credit score. Or if you don't want to deal with that, then you can just keep saving money in that bank account that you're going to use for this strategy, and keep saving until you have about $2,000 to $5,000 in your bank account. And step 4, for now, just work on those. And if you really want to learn about it, check out my video, part 2. I'll probably name it Student Loan Demolition or whatnot, because it's very realistic strategy. It just takes a little bit of effort and you have to be very disciplined. A 10-year loan, you might be able to pay it off in 3 to 4 years. That's how effective it can be if you execute it properly. So that's pretty much it for this part 1. Remember, carry out the game plan, adjust if necessary. You need to be flexible and keep up the consistency. Make sure you always make your payments. Make sure you're calculating your finances. If you can't make additional payments some of the months, that's okay. Just try to be consistent, but of course, make sure that you can meet your other financial obligations. But remember, these are all just things that I came across and I'm sharing with you. See if you can benefit from them. Obviously, student loan is a huge burden for all of us, and if the easier it is, the easier we can make our life in terms of student loans, the better it is. So, but if you are looking for professional help, you need to go to a professional and licensed financial advisor. I'm just a guy who is sharing his knowledge. I don't recommend anything. All right, thank you.